we discovered something that changed everything about building AI assistants. It's called a hook. And no, we are not talking about phishing or React. Hi, I'm one of the avatars for Dr. Terry Bird. Today, we are talking about event-driven automation that makes JARVIS truly autonomous. Let us show you what happens when your AI can intercept, modify, and react to every single event in its own execution. Here's the problem we kept hitting. We would ask Claude to do something, it would do it perfectly, then nothing. No memory of what just happened, no learning, no automation. Every session started from scratch. We needed JARVIS to remember context, learn from patterns, and act autonomously. But how do you make an AI that doesn't just respond, but also observes, learns, and evolves? That's when we discovered Claude Code hooks. Think of them as event listeners for your AI's brain. Every time something happens, a session starts, a message is sent, context is about to compact, Claude Code fires an event. And with hooks, you can intercept that event and run custom code. It's like giving your AI a nervous system that reacts to stimuli automatically. A hook is a shell script that runs automatically when specific events occur in Claude Code. There are hooks for session start, session end, before context compaction, after tool execution, and more. Each hook receives context about what's happening, like which files changed, what task is running, or how much context remains. Then your hook can do whatever you want. Save state, update files, send notifications, trigger workflows. You might ask, why hooks instead of MCP servers? MCP servers are tools Claude can call when it needs them. Hooks are different. They're proactive, not reactive. Claude doesn't have to think about calling a hook. Hooks just run automatically when events happen. MCP servers are tools you use. Hooks, automation that happens behind the scenes. You need both, but for autonomous behavior, hooks are game-changing. What about skills? Skills are reusable prompts and workflows that Claude executes when asked. Great for complex tasks. But hooks are invisible. They run without Claude or the user initiating them. A skill is a recipe you follow. A hook is your smoke alarm going off automatically when it detects danger. Different use cases, both powerful. Claude Code supports multiple hook types. Session start runs when a session begins. Pre-compact runs before context compaction. Post-compact runs after. User prob submit runs when you send a message. Tool use runs after tool execution. Each hook gets specific context variables it can use to make decisions. This gives you surgical precision in automating behaviors. Here's a real hook we built. The pre-compact hook runs right before Claude's context window fills up and gets compressed. In that moment, we save the entire session state. What files were modified, what task we're working on, recent conversation snippets, active goals. Then when the session resumes after compaction, the session start hook restores everything. JARVIS never loses context. Let me show you the actual code. My SaveSessionState.sh hook captures Git status, recent file changes, current branch, environment variables, and the last 50 conversation messages. It writes everything to a timestamp snapshot file. This takes 0.3 seconds and happens automatically. No manual exports, no lost work, no what was I doing again moments. On session start, the restore hook reads that snapshot and injects it as a system message to Claude. You were working on Phase 5 hooks documentation. You had modified these 3 files. Here's what the user said in the last 5 messages. Claude wakes up with full memory of where we left off. It's like the AI never went to sleep. The first big advantage, zero cognitive load. Claude doesn't have to remember to save state. The hook does it automatically. We don't have to remember to export context. The hook does it automatically. Autonomous behavior emerges from automation that requires zero human or AI attention. Said it once, forget it forever. Second advantage, perfect consistency. Humans forget. AI can be inconsistent based on prompt phrasing. Hooks, they run exactly the same way every single time on every matching event. No variation, no missed executions. No, I forgot to do that step. If the event fires, the hook runs. Guaranteed. Third, speed. My hooks run in milliseconds. Saving session state, 300 ms. Restoring it, 150 ms. Compare that to asking Claude to manually export context. 30 seconds of generation. Or having me manually copy files. 2 minutes. Hooks are instant, invisible, and never slow you down. Fourth, hooks compose beautifully. We can have multiple hooks for the same event. Session start can restore state and check for Git changes and fetch latest market data and send a morning briefing. Each hook is a small, focused script. Together, they create complex autonomous behavior. It's like Unix parps for AI automation. Which brings us to Phase 5. We didn't just add features. We built an entire hook-based automation layer that makes JARVIS truly autonomous. Phase 5a. Advanced session continuity with save-restore hooks. Phase 5b. Real-time portfolio notifications with tool execution hooks. Phase 5c. Voice interface with user prompt hooks for audio pre-processing. Every new capability is powered by hooks working invisibly. Phase 5a is about never losing context. Beyond basic save-restore, we added intelligent snapshot management. Hooks now detect what domain we are working in: health, wealth, business, content, and restore domain-specific context. Working on portfolio analysis, the hook loads investment context, recent trades, market conditions. Switching to content creation, it loads video scripts, posting schedules, analytics. The domain detection hook is brilliant. It runs on session start, looks at your current directory, checks recent Git commits, examines modified files, and determines which domain you're in. Then it only loads relevant context, not everything. This keeps the context window efficient while ensuring you always have what you need for the current task. Phase 5b adds real-time notifications using tool execution hooks. Every time JARVIS checks portfolio positions via the Alpaca API, a hook examines the results. If any position is within 2% of stop loss, the hook fires a Telegram notification immediately. No waiting for scheduled checks, no manual monitoring. The hook catches problems in real time and alerts me instantly. Here's how it works. The post-tool use hook receives the Alpaca API response. It parses the JSON, checks each position against its entry price and stop-loss percentage. If it finds a position at risk, it calls the Telegram API directly from the hook. This happens in the background during the same API call JARVIS made for normal monitoring. Zero additional latency, instant awareness. Phase 5c introduces voice control, and guess what powers it? Hooks. When we speak a command, the user prompt submit hook intercepts it before Claude sees it. The hook detects its audio, transcribes it with Whisper, cleans up the transcription, and passes text to Claude. Claude responds with text, then a post-response hook converts it to speech with 11 labs. We talk to JARVIS. JARVIS talks back. All hook orchestrated. Why use hooks instead of having Claude handle audio? Because hooks remove the cognitive load. Claude doesn't need to think about transcription or text-to-speech. It just processes text like always. The hooks handle the audio pipeline invisibly. This keeps Claude's context focused on the actual task, not the I/O mechanics. 1. of my favorite hooks, the morning briefing. Every day at 8 a.m., a scheduled session start hook triggers. It checks portfolio performance overnight, scans for new Christopher Mullen videos, reviews calendar events, and compiles a briefing. Then, it uses Claude Code CLI as a subprocess to have Claude analyze everything and generate a concise morning report. This report gets sent to Telegram automatically. You can wake up to full situational awareness. Here's the power move. Hooks can spawn Claude Code CLI as a subprocess. Our morning briefing hook runs Claude-P with a specific prompt. This gives the hook access to Claude's intelligence without using API credits. The hook gathers data, Claude analyzes it, the hook delivers the result. This pattern turns hooks from simple automation into intelligent automation. And it costs zero because it uses OAuth tokens. Another powerful hook, learning extraction. After every task completion, a post-task complete hook analyzes what just happened. It reads execution logs, identifies patterns, successes, failures, edge cases, and appends learnings to a markdown file. Over time, JARVIS builds a knowledge base of things that worked and things that didn't. This is continuous learning, automated through hooks, no manual journaling required. We think of hooks as JARVIS's nervous system. The brain is Claude, intelligent, thoughtful, analytical. But the nervous system is what makes you pull your hand off a hot stove before you consciously think about it. Hooks give JARVIS reflexes. Portfolio drops near stop, instant alert. Context about to compress, auto-save state. Morning arrives, generate briefing. These aren't decisions Claude makes. They're autonomic responses built into the system. Building hooks is straightforward. Create a shell script in .claude hooks/ with the hook name like sessionstart.sh or precompact.sh. Make it executable. Claude Code automatically runs it when the event fires. The hook receives environment variables with context, file paths, session IDs, get state. You can do anything. Call APIs, update files, send notifications, spawn subprocesses. The only limit is your imagination. Best practices we have learned. Keep hooks fast, under 1 second if possible. Make them idempotent, safe to run multiple times. Log everything for debugging. Use exit codes properly. 0 for success, non-zero for failure. Test hooks independently before relying on them. And document what each hook does in a hooks.md file. Future you will thank current you. With Phase 5's hook system, JARVIS is now fully autonomous. It remembers context across sessions. It monitors my portfolio in real time. It learns from every execution. It delivers morning briefings without being asked. It responds to voice commands. And it does all of this invisibly, in the background, using hooks that we set up once and never think about again. This is what a second brain should be. Here's what's powerful. As the Claude Code community grows, we're building a hook ecosystem. People share hooks for common needs. Session state management, Git commit automation, API monitoring, notification systems. You can install community hooks and immediately get autonomous behaviors that took someone weeks to perfect. Hooks are composable, shareable, and infinitely customizable. Phase 5 proved hooks are the foundation for autonomous AI. Phase 6 is the command center, a visual dashboard where you can see everything JARVIS is doing in real time. Task statistics, scheduled jobs with cron schedules you can enable or disable, live monitoring of all autonomous operations. Instead of SSHing into terminals, you'll have a beautiful web interface. But the core insight remains. If you want an AI assistant that truly works for you 24/7, you need event-driven automation. You need hooks. and now you know how to build them. If you found this valuable, do us a favor. Hit that like button so more people can discover this content. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along as we continue building Jarvis. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss Phase 6 when the command center drops. And if you know someone who's building AI assistants or automation systems, share this video with them. The more people building autonomous AI, the stronger our community becomes. Here's our challenge to you. Build your own second brain. You don't need to copy Jarvis exactly. Take these concepts, hooks, automation, event-driven intelligence, and apply them to your life, your work, your domains. Maybe you're into health tracking. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're creating content. Whatever it is, you can automate it, and we want to hear about it. Drop a comment below. Tell us what you're building. Share what additions you've made. Let us know what problems you've run into. We're all learning together. The future of AI isn't about using someone else's tool. It's about building your own. So let's build. I'll see you in Phase 6.